Hi, I'm Brad Garlinghouse. As many of you know, I don't often make videos like this, but then again, not every week has been like this one. A few days ago, after 2 years, 7 court orders, and over $100 million in legal bills, the Hinman speech documents, including internal SEC emails and comments leading up to this now infamous 2018 speech, they've finally been unsealed. Hinman's speech created new factors to determine if a token becomes sufficiently decentralized to no longer be considered a security. At best, these documents show that senior officials at the SEC couldn't agree on the law and told Bill Hinman directly he would confuse the public even more about the rules for crypto. At worst, they show that Hinman deliberately ignored the law, and he tried to create new laws, something only Congress can do. And while he was a public servant, Hinman received millions of dollars of payments from his law firm, which was part of an alliance with others that had a vested interest in this speech. This speech isn't about any one token or any one blockchain. This is about showing the extent to which the SEC has relentlessly pursued enforcement actions against crypto players while professing fake open arms and calls to come in and register, all the while lying about their so-called guidance. As some of you may know, Ripple spent years proactively engaging with the SEC. I personally met with Jay Clayton and Bill Hinman, with no lawyer present. Why would I need a lawyer if we were all coming together in good faith? We answered every question they had, and not once did they suggest to me that XRP was a security. We were fully transparent, not knowing they would then use this information against us. The SEC hit us with a surprise Wells notice saying they were considering suing us for breaking securities laws and still refused to provide specifics. To those that have recently been hit with their own Wells notices and lawsuits, this likely sounds all too familiar. When the lawsuit did drop against us, days before Christmas, a very Grinch-like touch, they made it personal. They sued Chris Larson and they sued myself, alleging we should have known all along that XRP was a security. You can now see plain as day, they couldn't even agree amongst themselves. And to me, it still seems like they can't. What we saw play out in our case is exactly what's still happening. The SEC is looking to kill crypto innovation in the United States, and its current chair, an unelected bureaucrat, I might add, is weaponizing the lack of regulatory clarity to exert jurisdiction over the entire crypto space. This is the definition of putting politics over people. It's the pursuit of power over sound policy. The SEC tried to bully us into acquiescing. Thankfully, we have had the resources to fight back. And now we can all see what they've fought so hard to hide. They knowingly created confusion about the rules, and they used that confusion to regulate through enforcement. That's bad faith, plain and simple. Ultimately, as our lawsuit comes to a close, for so many others, it's just starting. The fight for clarity has to continue. I just want to conclude by saying to my colleagues here at Ripple, to my family, my friends, everyone who has supported us over the past 2.5 years, and certainly to the whole of the XRP Army, a very heartfelt and a very genuine thank you for that support.
Good morning, everybody. James Rule, XRP, the James Rule Crypto Show. It's Saturday morning. Wow, Brad Garlinghouse, I tell you what, he's the CEO of Ripple. He gets it out there. You know, Brad Garlinghouse very seldom, if ever, makes videos like this, just getting all this information out in 4 minutes. And, you know, as this case comes to an end, you know, everybody's ears perks up. But you know what? At the very end of the video, he mentions the XRP Army, the XRP community. You know, I'm part of the XRP Army. You're part of the XRP Army. John Deaton, all the other content creators, all the other individuals out there that have hopes and dreams. And you know, we've been putting up with a lot of crap for the past couple of years, but you know what? We've put a dent in the crypto universe, and we're going to continue to fight. We are going to continue to fight. Welcome to the Crypto Show. Welcome to the James Rule Crypto Show. I'm a crypto teacher. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just going to make a video here with a couple of video clips. I have a lot to do today, but you know what? Here in the past week or two, we've been seeing the damning evidence against the SEC. You got this Prometheum BS. You got the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF announcement coming out. I mean, it's just showing you that our governments do not care about the people. All they care about is their pocketbooks, the banks, you know, NASDAQ, Fidelity, all this other BS. But we're going to make it through it. We're going to make it through it. I'll tell you what, I have sacrificed a lot in the last couple of years. You know, I have sold, I don't know if you're aware of this, I've sold tens of thousands of XRP this past December 2022 just to make ends meet. Yes, I got a job in January of 2023. I'm doing fine. I'm doing okay. I'm just pissed off that I had to sell some of my investments to make ends meet. And yeah, Scott Melker, the Wolf of Wall Street's podcast host, he's at Scott Melker on crypto Twitter, quotes, Americans are losing money because of the actions of the SEC every single day. And that is 100% correct. That is 100% correct. I'm going to play this video and I'm going to let it play through. It's about 8 minutes long. Soak it up. Scott Melker is a part of crypto Twitter, and he gives you his thoughts and opinions of the crap we've been putting up with. Have a listen.
With that kind of news.
I think it has been becoming more mainstream for quite a long time. And this isn't BlackRock's first foray into the space. They've already been working with Coinbase to allow their high net worth clients to have access to Bitcoin and other crypto assets. So there's nothing really new here. Listen, after the FTX collapse, I actually sent a tweet out that said, watch, Wall Street's about to sweep in and buy up our industry for pennies on the dollar. And it seems that what we have now is legislators and regulators pushing this industry into the comfortable hands of Wall Street and getting rid of the crypto incumbents like Coinbase and Binance that they view as a threat. So as good as this may be for institutional adoption of the space, it kind of violates the ethos. It's a bit of a dishonest push away from the people who actually built the crypto industry in the United States. We've already seen a number of spot ETFs rejected over and over and over again. It's being litigated with Grayscale in the courts right now against the SEC. I wouldn't be surprised to now see BlackRock move from the back of the line to the very front very quickly.
Right. And so that's what I was going to ask, actually. When it comes to some of the Bitcoin ETFs that we've already seen filed for review and approval, we've seen it for multiple years. They get filed, there's a hefty comment period. It essentially just ends up on the cutting room floor somewhere or just kind of gets held in obscurity or purgatory, whichever way you want to look at it. At the end of the day, you've got companies like Gemini, Van Eck, Grayscale as well that have put one forward. So if you see a BlackRock now moving forward with this, aren't they destined to take some type of legal action unless BlackRock's is, I guess, materially different?
I would think so, but legal action and crypto go hand in hand at this point. I think we can see that we've seen regulators coming after the crypto industry going after the regulators. So yes, I think that would be par for the course. I can't imagine how they can justify approving a BlackRock ETF without the others. And as I mentioned, Grayscale is currently in litigation to get their GBTC Bitcoin Trust moved and transferred and converted into an ETF, which has been strangely rejected. There's no rational reason that we should not have a spot ETF for Bitcoin. That would actually protect consumers, which is the mandate of the SEC. It would be a great move forward. But they gave us a futures ETF, which is an inferior product that was approved, a year and a half ago. We have a couple of those that basically just don't track spot accurately and are much worse for the consumers. So it's a real head scratcher why this hasn't happened. And I think it's just because of the activist approach that the SEC is taking towards the crypto industry.
So speaking of the SEC versus crypto, the SEC is coming down hard, cracking down on the industry. You have these lawsuits, whether we're talking about Binance or Coinbase. And one of the pieces that the heart of the issue is also the question of whether we're talking about a security or crypto as a security. What do you think about how the SEC is coming after the industry? Is this fair?
It's absolutely not fair. Gary Gensler needs to be fired immediately. And you've actually seen that the hashtag Fire Gary Gensler is trending, partially because of myself, partially because of my show, the Crypto Town Hall on Twitter Spaces. It's the biggest show in the world. We had Warren Davidson on, who's also been tweeting Fire Gary Gensler and has put forward the SEC Stabilization Act to do just that. Listen, Gary Gensler is embarrassed about his relationship with Sam Bankman-Fried, that he platformed FTX, was working with them on regulation, that he was going to give them a pass outside of this legislation that they were going to pass. And so he's embarrassed, and he's overcorrecting massively in the opposite direction, trying to take an activist approach against the entire industry. It's absurd. It's unfair. It's probably illegal, and that will also be litigated in court. But the SEC is way out over their skis. It's Congress's job to determine what these assets are. And Gary Gensler can't even sit on the Congress floor and give the simple answer of whether Ethereum is a commodity or security when that question is pointed directly at him repeatedly. He refuses to give guidance because he would rather be vague and then just go ahead and deem everything a security without actually going after any of those platforms and protocols. It's completely absurd, and he needs to go.
So if he were to leave, then who would you want to see in leadership there?
Well, it's hard to know if the replacement would be better, but we know what we're working with, and we know that he's not acting in good faith. There are SEC commissioners who are extremely rational and have been in favor of freedom and doing the right thing for years. Hester Peirce is one of them. She's proposed for years the idea of safe harbor, which would allow any project to come in, register with the SEC, and they would have a 3-year period to prove that they're sufficiently decentralized and no longer a security before they can launch and be listed. That is an extremely sensible approach, the way that this should be viewed. We shouldn't be using the Howey test and securities laws from the 1930s and 40s to apply to digital assets that obviously just do not fit inside that framework. So yes, part of this is actually that Congress needs to act. They need to put a framework in place. And if you were to defend Gary Gensler, you would say that because the only tool that he has is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. But we all know, like I said, that he's overcorrecting because of his relationship with Sam Bankman-Fried, because there's egg on the face of legislators and regulators because of their relationship with him, and now retroactively punishing people for the actions of bad actors last year. Listen, do you think that the mandate of the SEC, which is to protect consumers, do you think they're doing that when they put out these actions and just list a bunch of random coins as securities without actually deeming why or going after them? And then those coins crash 30%, which many Americans are holding. Americans are losing money because of the actions of the SEC every single day.
There you go. I mean, Americans are losing money because the actions of the SEC every single day. And for the past 2.5 years, Gary Gensler has just been throwing random things. This is a security. There's no proof. There's no living proof that these tokens, Solana, XRP, ADA, Cardano, all the other ones they've been throwing out there are securities. And it's up to Congress. It's up to the courts to make the decision with these companies if they're securities or not. SEC cannot make that determination. Gary Gensler cannot make that determination. Gary Gensler, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan are so tied together. BlackRock, they're so tight knit together. They don't give a damn about you and me and the everyday retail investors. They don't give a damn. They say they're protecting crypto investors. No, they're damaging crypto investors. But anyway, we're going to keep going. Let's go. Okay, CoinDesk. Jeff Wiltzer. I want to say hats off to Jeff Wiltzer. He called me about 3 weeks ago. He did a phone interview with me about 3 weeks ago. Well, he has created this article, Why the XRP Army Keeps Fighting. And I tell you what, through its 3-year legal battle with the SEC, Ripple has had a powerful force at its back. XRP has had a powerful force at its back, the XRP Army. Jeff Wiltzer meets crypto's most motivated group of supporters and finds out what makes the army tick. I want to say thank you very much for including me in this article. I'm not going to read through it. I'm going to leave a link to it below. Yes, it talks about me. Yes, it talks about John Deaton, Brad Kimes, digital asset investor, the Hammond. There's John Deaton with his daughter. And it goes through and it just kind of breaks down, there's William Hinman, what we've been fighting for the past 2.5 years, and how we're making a difference, how our voices are being heard by the very few representatives in the United States that are pro crypto. But I'm just honored that for the past 2 years or 2.5 years or more, I've been a part of this community, and I've been able to, share my thoughts and opinion with the world. And that's what it's all about. We are fighting for a level playing field. We're trying to bring out the criminal activity in our governments, because they need to be held accountable. They are not protecting the investors. They are doing this for their own benefits and their own profits. But I tell you what, it's Saturday, and I'm not working today or tomorrow, Sunday, so it's going to be a wonderful weekend. And I have a lot of things to do. I'm going to be with family most of the weekend, but you know what? I'm going to probably dig in and check some crypto news and maybe get a video out tonight or tomorrow. But that's what I'm here for. I'm the crypto teacher. My name is James Rule, XRP, and I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. We're getting closer to having the things we want, even though we're going through all these hiccups with this stupid shit that we're having to put up with. But anyway, have a great weekend. My name is James Rule, XRP. This is the James Rule Crypto Show. And never forget, I told you so.